So, sports fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 5 in the league where they play. I said in the league where they play. In the league where they play. In the league where they play. For Penn! Let's get right to it. Rolling right along as we are in week number 5 as the weeks go faster and faster. Coming off a really good week last week. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Let's go up to Foxborough, where the New England Patriots are -10 over the Indianapolis Colts. They're back! Or were they ever really gone? Were the Patriots ever really gone? And I fell into the trap last week, and I took Miami, one of the few games I lost. I fell into the trap. It's happened so many times before. New England looks bad for a game. They look awful for 2 games. But they never lose 3 in a row. They look like a completely different team in 6 days. They were horrible against Detroit on Monday Night Football. Miami's 3-0. New England's got guys out all over the place. And New England just bombed Miami. I mean, they dropped all the bag of goodies on the Dolphins. This game was over early. The Patriots look like a completely different team on both sides of the ball. Their offense looked great. The defense, with all the guys out, looked great. Miami couldn't do anything. This game was over in the first quarter. Are we shocked? Are we really shocked? I mean, it's unbelievable how these Patriots do this. They've done it for so many years where you just think that it's not going to happen for them. Where they're just, Brady's going to get old. They're not going to have a good year. And sure enough, they always respond, and they do it so quickly. Like I said, they were miserable against the Lions on Monday Night Football. 6 days later, against an undefeated team, a division rival, and they just paced Miami. I mean, they just bombed them. Oh, it's unbelievable. No one does a better job than New England with that. Remember years ago when they were they lost a couple games and they were playing Cincinnati and everyone thought the sky was falling and they went out and blew them out. It happens all the time. And Belichick never panics. After the Lion game, we're on to the Dolphin game. Business as usual. When am I going to learn? First of all, New England could lose a game. They could lose 2. Until they lose 3 in a row, expect them to have a big season. I mean, I cannot believe again that they pulled this on me again. I cannot believe it. I mean, unbelievable that I fell into this trap again. I should know better. I even talked about it last week. We've been here so many times with them. So New England rolled over Miami to get up to 2-2. Indianapolis 1-3, lost to the Texans. What in the world are the Colts doing? Colts are down 28-10, have a great rally. What are the Colts doing going for it in overtime in their own territory? And it wasn't 4th and an inch. It was 4th and 4 or something? Why did they do that? You punt the ball away, you take the tie. I know nobody likes to play for ties, but 1-2-1 looks a lot better than 1-3. You gave that game to the Texans. I mean, the way the Colts came back, a tie would have been good. Punt the ball away, you got a tie, and away we go. Instead, you go for it, you don't get it, you were setting yourself up for defeat. Sure enough, the Texans just steal the game. Just stole the game. That was a bad job by the Colts coach. And I know he said after the game, I don't play for ties, but I mean, you have to have a limit. I mean, was he going to go for it at his own 30, at his own 20, at his own 10, at his own 1? I mean, at some point, you have to have a limit. Punt the ball, take your tie. 1-2-1 is a lot better than 1-3. Now listen, the Colts have been battling. They lost a tough game to Cincinnati. They beat Washington on the road. Could have easily beat the Eagles on the road. Had a great comeback here. So they have been battling. But that was not a good job by the Indianapolis coach. Not a good job. And like I said, it was not fourth and an inch. So not a good job there by the Colts coach. They get the loss. They're down to 1-3. Spread is 10, which is high. But you think I'm going against New England? I learned my lesson last week, okay? I learned my lesson. Move the line to 4 and take the Patriots. And by the way, for those people that love Thursday night football, have you noticed that all the home teams have won on Thursday night football? It's a major disadvantage to the road team. Major disadvantage. You recover on Monday after the game. You basically have one day to put in the game plan, and you're flying Wednesday and you're in the game on Thursday. The Vikings last week actually flew to Los Angeles on Tuesday. You have no time to prep for these games. If you're the road team, major disadvantage. I know the spread is high, so I'm going to move it to 4 and take New England in a teaser. I mean, you could play New England on money line, but it is going to be a boatload to have them in a money line. I don't want to pick against New England here, so I'm going to take New England, move the line down to 4, take them in a teaser. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go down to Carolina. And we're thinking about the Carolinas after the hurricane. Hope everyone is doing well down there. The Carolina Panthers off a bye or -7 against the New York Football Giants. Carolina 2-1, like I said, off a bye. The New York Giants 1-3, lost to New Orleans at home, and I thought the Giants played an awful football game. The Saints give up points to everyone. The Giants couldn't get anything done on offense. And then the defense got shredded, especially at the end of the game. The Saints marched down the field twice and scored when the Giants had a chance to get back in the game. I do not like the Giants' body language at all this year. At all. I do not like the way they played against Dallas. I do not like the way they played against Jacksonville. I know they beat the Texans. Do not like their body language at all. Odell Beckham has that like lemon face on the sidelines, like he's always angry. Beckham, you just got a huge contract. Come on now. Come on now. But I don't like the Giants' body language. Their offensive line is not any good. Don't like a lot from the New York Giants. I'm going to move the line down to 1 and take Carolina. I think Carolina is just better. I know Olsen is out, but I think Carolina is better, and they're home off a bye, and I just don't trust the New York Football Giants right now. Just don't trust them. Carolina, pick number 2. Number 3. Let's go down to Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles -3 against the Minnesota Vikings. Eagles down to 2-2, lost a tough game to Tennessee. Eagles were up in this game, I think 17-3 or something like that, and were dominating the game at one point, then found a way to lose. So that was a bad loss by the Eagles. Wentz back at quarterback. Minnesota 1-2-1, lost to the Rams, and Minnesota is right now one of the big disappointments in the league. Their defense is getting shredded every week. And I know the Rams can put up points on you, but Minnesota lost to the Bills at home. They lost to, the one-legged Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. The defense has not played good at all since week 1. Very disappointed in the Vikings right now. They have time to recover. Very disappointed with the Vikings. Now listen, I saw this game last year in the championship game when the Eagles just trounced the Vikings. Philly coming off a loss, coming back home. Minnesota giving up points all over the place. Again, I do not trust the Vikings right now. I know they have talent. I know they have ability. They can turn it around. But I like Philadelphia in this spot. Off a tough loss, coming home against a team they should be able to put up some points. Minnesota has not played well on defense at all. They have not played good football at all this year since week 1. I got to go with the Eagles here. I really do. So the Eagles are pick number 3. Pick number 4. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's go to the Steel City in Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are -3.5 against the Atlanta Falcons. Pittsburgh down to 1-2-1. Lost to Baltimore and looked bad doing it, especially in the second half. Pittsburgh falls behind 14-0 in this game, ties it up at 14, doesn't score a point in the second half. And we know their defense isn't any good. Now the offense has gotten into the act. Oh, Bell has decided to come back. I think he said, week 7? Thank you, Le'Veon Bell, for showing up. We appreciate that in the Steel City. So Bell will be back week 7. Steel's got all sorts of issues. Atlanta, they're another one, all sorts of problems. 1-3, lost to Cincinnati, and again, they can't stop anyone at the end of the game. Lost to the Saints the week before. Lost to the Bengals here. You think someone might want to cover A.J. Green? He's only the best receiver the Bengals have. You might want to cover him. I mean, they let Cincinnati waltz down the field and score with 7 seconds left, whatever it was. So Atlanta's defense has been atrocious. Absolutely atrocious the last 2 weeks. Was bad against Cincinnati. Was bad against the Saints. Held on against Carolina. That game could have easily been tied up at the end. And then they lost the Eagle game the first week. Atlanta's 1-3. I mean, 1-3. That is just not getting it done. Falcons defense, not good. I'll tell you what. The loser of this game could be in for a really long season and be done. If Atlanta loses this game and goes to 1-4, they to me could be done. And the Steelers 1-3-1 if they lost, not looking good. By the way, the Steelers have now lost, going back to last year, 3 straight home games. Lost to Jacksonville last year in the playoffs. Lost to Kansas City. And now Baltimore. The Steelers have lost 3 straight home games. Unbelievable. To me, I don't know what to make of this game. I would look at the over and under because both of these teams can score and they got no defenses. If I'm going to pick the game, I'm going to move the line to 9.5 and take Atlanta. I think these teams are evenly matched. They have some of the same problems. They're very similar. I'll take Atlanta with 9.5. I don't trust either one of them at this point. I would look at the over and under as well, even in a teaser. But I will take Atlanta plus 9.5. It's going to be that type of game. Should be high scoring. Could go either way. The defenses are both atrocious, though. Disappointed with both teams. Atlanta's pick number 4. Number 5. Let's go to the jungle in Cincinnati. With a surprising Cincinnati Bengals are 3-1. What a nice job by the Bengals. Really nice job by the Bengals. I mean, they found a way to beat Atlanta, get the touchdown at the end. The Bengals have been really battling. They lose the tight end for the year with that gruesome injury. The Bengals have been fighting. They've been battling. Give them a lot of credit. They've done some nice things this year. Cincinnati -6 at home against Miami here. Miami down to 3-1, lost to New England. Now listen, I don't want to pile on the Dolphins because they are 3-1. They did some nice things the first 3 weeks of the season. They're a surprise team. No one thought they'd be this good. Everyone thought they'd have a bad year. That display of football Miami had was downright putrid. How in the world do you lay down that kind of effort against your division rival, a team that has had your number for years, a team you've wanted a piece of for years, and you give that performance? Now listen, I'm not expecting the Dolphins to win that game. I'm not. But can you at least show up? That game was over in the first quarter. They got bamboozled, hoodwinked. They got bombed, embarrassed. That was deplorable football by the Dolphins. What did Tannehill have, 100 yards passing? The Patriots' whole defense is out. They couldn't do better than that. It's like they didn't even show up, Miami. I couldn't believe how bad they were. And that's why New England is New England, and Miami has been Miami for a long time. And I don't want to pile on the Dolphins. They've done some nice things. They're still in first place. That was embarrassing football. You want to be a big-time team? You have to give me a better effort against your division rival, the team everyone wants to knock off, the team that has had your number forever. That's the effort you gave? That game was over in the first quarter. That was embarrassing football. That was like going to the World Series of poker and someone's got a full house and you lay down a pair of threes. I mean, what an embarrassing effort by the Dolphins. Their fan base must be really upset by that. How could you have a performance like that? And I didn't expect them to win. Can you show up? Can you show up? You let New England do that to you again? Oh, embarrassing football. Cincinnati at home -6 against the Dolphins. Listen, the Dolphins, I want them to show me some pride here. They have to be embarrassed. I think they will show some pride here. I'm going to move the line to 12 in a 2-team teaser and take the Dolphins. I don't think they're going to be blown out 2 weeks in a row. I really don't. They're going to have to show me something this week. They have to be humiliated. I think teams that are humiliated usually respond the next week. So I'm going to go back on the Dolphins, move the line to 12. I think the game could go either way. Cincinnati definitely an advantage at home. But I'm going to say Miami keeps it somewhat close at least. And I'm going to move the line to 12 and take the Dolphins. Hey, Miami, show me something. That was gutless last week. That was gutless. Let's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go with the Motor City in Detroit with the Green Bay Packers. So -1.5 against the Detroit Lions. Green Bay up to 2-1-1 as they shut out Buffalo. Buffalo back to what we expected from them. How in the world did they beat Minnesota, by the way? Just goes to show you the Vikings' effort that week. Detroit down to 1-3. Tough loss to Dallas. Dallas kicks a field goal with no time left. That was a tough loss for Detroit. They battled in that game, fell a little short. Listen, I don't love Detroit's defense. I don't like their running game. They can get some things done in the passing game. They have been playing a little better the last couple weeks. So I'm going to move the line to 7.5, and I'm going to take the Lions at home here. Green Bay, Rodgers still a little banged up. I don't trust that Green Bay defense, on the road. Overall, I think the Packers are better, but I would move the line to 7.5 here. You know how I like taking those home teams and getting a lot of points. Division game. Detroit has been better the last 2 weeks. I'm going to Green Bay the last time, they were on the road. They fell flat against Washington. So I'm going to take the Lions plus 7.5 there in a 2-team teaser. That is pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go to the Dog Pound in Cleveland. For the Baltimore Ravens, a -3 against the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore up to 3-1. Beat Pittsburgh. Looked good doing it. Baltimore looks like a solid team right now, doing it on both sides of the ball. Very impressed with the Ravens. They always do a good job with personnel, Baltimore. They always do. They always find people. Cleveland down to 1-2-1. Lost a tough game to Oakland. A really tough game to the Oakland Raiders. Mayfield did some good things, did some bad things, had some turnovers, made some nice plays, up and down, just what you'd expect from a rookie. But overall, I thought he did do some really good things. Looks like he has a lot of potential. That was a tough loss to the Oakland Raiders. Cleveland had multiple leads in that game. Division game here, very tough game, very strange game. I'm going to move the line to 9 and take the Browns. Again, not to be repetitive, but I get the Browns with 9, and I get the home field Baltimore off that tough physical battle with the Steelers. A lot of times when Baltimore and Pittsburgh play, they play such a tough physical game. Got to be careful taking them the next week. They're almost kind of worn out. They almost have like a little setback the next week. They're coming off that high against Pittsburgh. That's their big division rival. And now you got to go on the road against the Browns, who you're used to beating up. I think we're going to have a little letdown for the Ravens here. I'm going to take the Browns, move the line to 9, and go that way. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for a little barbecue. A little ribs on the grill. A little grilled chicken. Shrimp on the barbecue. Whatever else they cook down there. They cook it all. They cook it all on the grill. No better barbecue than KC. Kansas City Chiefs -3.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a must-watch game this week. Kansas City up to 4-0. Comes back and beats Denver on the road. Down by 10 points. They rally. Mahomes throwing left-handed passes. I know they got a break with that, the play clock running out. That's a rule. I'm shocked the NFL doesn't let you review that. You're making the ref do a couple things there. He's looking at the clock and the snap. They always give the offense that extra second there. I'm surprised they haven't corrected that rule, or at least allow you to challenge it, because the play clock was definitely at 0. But we've seen that before. The ref has to look at the clock, then look at the snap. They always give the offense the extra half second in that situation. So I've seen it before. I'm surprised the NFL hasn't made corrections to that. So Kansas City did get a break there, but give them credit. They were down 10 in the fourth quarter, made a lot of big plays, came through at the end. So great job by the Chiefs again. 4-0. The offense is really good. Defense needs a little work. We know that defense isn't all that great, but the offense looks really good. And the quarterback, next 10 years at least, you're going to have a star in Kansas City. Kansas City -3.5 at home against Jacksonville. Jacksonville 3-1 beat the Jets. Just what I thought. I mean, Jacksonville was not losing to the Jets at home. We'll see about Fournette. He got back on the field this week. Hamstring was tightening up again. Came out of the game. They have him as questionable again. So that hamstring giving Fournette a little trouble. I'd like to have him back on the field. This is a very interesting game. You got the offense of the Chiefs, the defense of the Jaguars. Chiefs on a short week, but they're home. The quarterback, the Jacksonville defense, wants a piece of him. This is a fascinating matchup. I am going to move the line to 9.5 and take Jacksonville here. Kansas City off the emotional win on Monday night. Short week, and now they got to go against that ferocious Jacksonville defense. This game could go either way. Kansas City slight edge being at home. But I'm going to move the line to 9.5 and take Jacksonville. I think the Jacksonville defense is going to do some things against Mahomes. And maybe Mahomes will actually throw an interception here. I mean, he's been pretty much mistake-free for the first 4 weeks of the season. Denver rattled them a lot yesterday. They did, but in the end, Kansas City made the plays. Mahomes made the plays. But I'm going to move the line to 9.5 and take Jacksonville. I think this is a must-watch game, one of the games of the week, and I am going to say it's going to be a close game. I'll take the Jaguars there with 9.5 and a two-team teaser. Great game, though. Pick number 9. Let's go out to Los Angeles, where the LA Chargers, and by the way, I say the LA Chargers. I got a message a few weeks ago from somebody that said, I was watching your video week 1 last year. Week 1 last year, not this year, week 1 last year. Let me say it again, week 1 last year. And you called the LA Chargers the San Diego Chargers. They are LA. Really? I didn't know that. I mean, really? Did you really need to send me that message? The Chargers were in San Diego forever. At that point last year, they hadn't even played a home game in LA yet. All the announcers were still calling them the San Diego Chargers, okay? I made the adjustment. I called them LA by like week 2. All right, so let's calm down. And to send me a message over a year later about it, too much time on your hands. The LA Chargers at home, -5.5 against the Oakland Raiders. Chargers up to 2-2, beat San Francisco and did not look good doing it. I thought they were going to find a way to lose this game, but they actually pulled it out. They had the big turnover at the end. I'll tell you can never trust the Chargers. They just play these strange games all the time, but they did find a way to win. Oakland got their first win of the year. They beat Cleveland. They're up to 1-3. The Oakland defense is horrendous. They can score points. I wasn't impressed with Oakland at all in that game. They were down multiple times, but they did get the win. I don't like their defense at all. Their defense is horrible. They can get some things done on offense, though. I think the Chargers are better than the Raiders. Again, I would look over and under in this game. I would look for the over, even if you use the over in a teaser. And if I had to pick the game, I would go Chargers teaser even. I think the Chargers are a little better. And by the way, since they are in LA now, are there any Charger fans that actually go to these games? Like the guy that sent me the message? Do you go to these games? Because did you see how many San Francisco 49er fans were in the building at the StubHub Center? It was all red. Are there any Charger fans out there? I mean, I cannot believe every time the Chargers play at home, they have no home field advantage. Even going back to San Diego, it's all the opposing team's crowd. It's unbelievable. San Francisco is far away from LA. And it was all red. I couldn't believe it again. Do the Chargers have any fans? They remind me of like the Clippers. They remind me of like the Clippers when they moved to LA. They're like second fiddle to the Rams now, the Chargers. Are there any Charger fans out there? Do any Charger fans actually go to the games? Oh my goodness, it's sad to see. And when they move into the new stadium, who's going to be going to these Charger games? All the fans from the other teams? Or all people that can't get Ram tickets? Oh, it's sad. But I think the Chargers will find a way to win this game, so I'll take them straight up in a teaser there, move the line to pick them, and I would look at the over and under. I would look at the over there as well. These two teams both can score, both give up a lot of points. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go out to San Francisco. Here we go. My bags are packed. This is a bags for pack trip. The San Francisco 49ers at home with the backup quarterback -4 against the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona 0-4, lost to Seattle. Have been in the game the last couple weeks, Arizona, but lost 0-4. Going to have a long season. San Francisco 1-3, lost to the Chargers. Played better than I thought, but still lost. My bags are packed. Who's with me? Who's going to Santa Clara for Niners Cardinals? My bags are packed. Let's go. I said let's go. Niners Cardinals, get your tickets while they're hot. Oh yeah, the Niners and their backup quarterback. And Arizona with the rookie Rosen. I'm there. My bags are packed. Oh, what an awful game. If I had to pick this game, San Francisco money line. They're home. They did play decently last week, and I just can't trust Arizona, especially on the road with a rookie. They just don't score any points. They did battle the last 2 weeks at home, but I just cannot trust Arizona at all. Bags are packed, Trip. Who's with me? Let's go. Pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go out to Seattle with the LA Rams. -7 against the Seattle Seahawks. Rams up to 4-0, beat Minnesota. Rams can put up points at will. I mean, they score all over the place. Now, they have some injuries on defense, so they can give up some points, but the Rams offense is awesome. Seattle, they're up to 2-2. Beat Arizona, not impressive, but did get the win. Seattle's won a couple in a row. Thomas out. Baldwin will be back. See, you know, if this was like Seattle a couple years ago, I would grab Seattle here with the points. I'd make it 13 and take them. Their crowd is so awesome, but I'm just not impressed with the Seahawks. I mean, to me, I move the line to 1 and take the Rams to win the game. I know the Rams are not going to go undefeated. I know Seattle is a tremendous home team. They've only played one home game, played their best game of the year when they played home against Dallas. I know that. Normally, I jump on Seattle and add the points in a teaser. I just don't like the way they're playing. Now, they do get Baldwin back, but Thomas is out on the defense. I just got to see more of Seattle. And the Rams have been so impressive on offense. They put up so many points. I'll go Rams there, -1 in a teaser. I just think the Rams are better right now. I really do. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go down to Texas. The Battle of Texas, the Lone Star State. With the Houston Texans, a -3.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? As the Cowboys are up to 2-2, beat Detroit, field goal at the gun. Elliott, very impressive. When Elliott has those type of games, Dallas is going to be tough to beat. And he's going to have those type of games because we know Dallas is limited on offense. But Elliott was awesome, running, catching. He did it all. He dominated that game. So Dallas up to 2-2. Texans up to 1-3, beating Indianapolis. Blew a 28-10 lead, then got a gift, as we talked about before, with Indianapolis going for it in overtime. Texans got a gift win. They should have had a tie here. They really did. Watson was better at quarterback. Where is the Texans' defense? J.J. Watt and Clowney and Merciless, where are you guys? You have a 28-10 lead. You got to put the hammer down. You got to put the hammer down on the Colts. Come on. Come on now. What? Where are you? Clowney. Merciless, where's this defense? Oh my goodness, the Texans. Oh, they were lucky to get a win here. They blew a 28-10 lead. Should have had a tie. Should have had a tie. But they get the win nonetheless. This is a strange game. And there's a lot of strange games this week, by the way. This could be a week where you see a lot of strange stuff. This is a week where I'd really bet light. And I've been picking great the first 4 weeks. This is a real light week. There's some strange doings. I get that feeling in the air. And I have that feeling in college football. And I'll talk about that in a second. This could be an eerie type of week. One of those weeks where everything goes boom. But anyway, I'm going to move the line to 9.5 and take Dallas. The Texans have been in nothing but close games. They've been in nothing but close games the first 4 weeks. Dallas, same deal. They were in a close game. I mean, they've been in pretty much close games, the first 4 weeks also. I think it'll be, one of those battles. So I'm going to go Dallas plus 9.5. I think the game's close either way. I don't think either one of these teams is pulling away from the other. So I feel safe going 9.5 and the Cowboys. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go down to New Orleans. Who dat? I said, who dat? Down in the Big Easy. New Orleans, the Superdome. With the Saints at -7 against the Washington Redskins. New Orleans up to 3-1, beat the Giants. Give the Saints all sorts of credit. They lose the opening game at home to Tampa. They almost lost to Cleveland week 2, but found a way to win. Then they had the dramatic win against Atlanta in Atlanta. And now they go on the road and beat the Giants. So the Saints are 3-1, doing a great job. Drew Brees is lights out. And that Kamara, he is some player. He is some player. It reminds me of Eric Dickerson. He is some player. We know the Saints can get it done on offense. Can the defense do enough? They certainly did enough against those New York Football Giants. Saints, nice job getting up to 3-1. Brees ready to pass Manning, for another one of these records this week as well. Washington 2-1 off a bye, off that nice win they had against Green Bay a couple weeks ago. I'm going to move the line down to 1 and take the Saints in the Dome. This is a tough spot for Washington. It really is. The Saints have been hot. They've won 3 in a row. That offense has been cooking. Brees wants this record. I think this crowd is going to be all fired up. All fired up. Washington does some nice things, but they're so inconsistent. I got to see more from them. I'm going to take the Saints, move the line to 1 and a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 13. Pick number 14. Oh, boy. Here we go. Talk about a strange game. The Tennessee Titans, -3 at Buffalo. Buffalo down to 1-3. Lost to Green Bay, and that's the Buffalo we all know and love. Got shut out by Green Bay. Somehow they went into Minnesota 2 weeks ago and won, but they came back to the Buffalo we all know and love. They got shut out. Buffalo 1-3. Tennessee 3-1 beat Philadelphia. Like I said last week, it's not pretty. They're not the best team. They are gutty, gritty, and they find a way to get it done, Tennessee. They've now won 3 in a row. They were down big in this game to Philly, found a way to win, beat Jacksonville on the road the week before, held on and beat the Texans the week before that. Tennessee is gritty. They're gutty. The coach made some gutty calls in this game. Real gutty team. Mariota has some ability. Very, very gutty, gritty team. You got to give them credit for that. When I look at this game, I think Tennessee's better. I think they're going to win. I would play them in a money line, but there is an old adage in the NFL. When a team gets shut out, you always take them the next week because they usually cover the spread and usually win. That's what happens in the NFL going back eons, going back decades. When a team gets shut out, you usually take them the next week because they respond because they're so embarrassed by being shut out. Now listen, taking Buffalo, do I have to? Listen, if you're asking me how to play this game, I think Tennessee's going to win, so I'd play them in a money line. But out of respect for that old rule, you could talk me into taking Buffalo with 9 points at home. Tennessee's in a lot of close games. It is up in Buffalo. You could talk me into that. You could talk me into the 9 and a 2-team teaser because of that rule. But I really think Tennessee's better. And I think Buffalo is a bad team, despite the win in Minnesota. So that's how I play that game. That's pick number 14. 2 teams with a bye this week, by the way. Chicago, they're on a bye. They're 3-1. Bomb Tampa. Tampa also with a bye. They're 2-2. Lost to Chicago. Why they started Fitzpatrick, I'll never know. They go back to Winston. They were asking for trouble starting Fitzpatrick. They got just that. Those 2 teams on a bye. So pick number 15, the last pick of the week. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here with the New York Jets are -2.5 against the Denver Broncos. This spread might have moved since last night. You might want to check that. Jets 1-3, lost to Jacksonville, lost 3 in a row. Denver down to 2-2. They lost a tough game to Kansas City. They've lost 2 in a row. Denver's got to be sick. Was that the first time in 15 years they blew a 10-point lead at home? They try the hook and ladder at the end of the game. I would not have tried that. I would have caught that ball, went down, spike it, throw one in the end zone. That was a little too cute for my liking, the hook and ladder. That backfired. The guy didn't even catch the ball, and even if he did, they fumbled it. Oh, Denver's got to be sick because they did a lot of good things. A lot of good things for 3 quarters. Let it get away from them in the fourth. This is another very, very strange game. To me, this could be a throwout, but if you have to take the game, move it to 8.5 and take Denver. I don't think either one of these teams is going to blow out the other. I mean, Denver I never trust on the road, and the Jets with a rookie quarterback losing 3 straight. Are they capable of blowing anyone out? I knew they blew out Detroit week 1, but we know the circumstances there. This should be a close game either way. So I'll take Denver there, plus 8.5 in that game. By the way, I have friends going to this game, this Jet game. The last time the Jets were home, and I meant to mention this, every time I saw a picture of the crowd on TV, and this goes on in all stadiums, so I'm not just picking on the Meadowlands and the Jet fans, everybody was looking down at their cell phones. What is with cell phones and people? Cell phones were made for emergencies. I'm stuck on the road. I have a flat tire. My wife just went into labor. Something like that. And I know you have to use your phone, periodically. But people have these cell phones out 24/7 like it's their oxygen supply. If you took the phone away from them, they would melt. What is with these cell phones? And at games, you pay good money to go to a game. You pay for the parking and your $30 hot dog and your $50 beer and your $60 nachos. And you're sitting there looking at your phone. And I've seen this in every stadium, every arena, every basketball game. People look at their phones more than the game. I don't get it. People are obsessed with being on their cell phones. I can't take it anymore. You go to the grocery store, people are on their headsets, talking. You think they're talking to you. They're talking on their headsets. They're in the car driving, talking on the cell phone. That's real safe. That's real safe. Talk and text while you're driving. I talked to a cop, and he said texting and driving is worse than drunk driving right now. That's how much of an epidemic it's become. I mean, what is people can't even talk in person anymore. You say hello to someone on the street now, and they look at you like, did he just talk to me? He didn't text me? They look like they're going to go into convulsions. They can't even speak in person. No one speaks on the phone anymore. No one has conversations on the phone. I can't believe you go to Vegas, everyone's walking around looking at their phone. You go to games, everyone's looking at their phone. What is going on here? People, get off your phones. Put them down. And how many pictures do you need of yourself? How many pictures? Selfie, MySpace, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Look at me. Look at me, our Marilyn Monroe. Here's another picture of me. My cousin must have 4 billion pictures. 4 billion pictures of herself on her phone. How many pictures can you take? How many pictures of yourself can you take? And it's everybody. They all do it. Selfie, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, I'm Marilyn Monroe. Give me a break. Get off your phones. Get out. Go get some fresh air. Everyone's on some electronic device anymore. No one goes outside anymore. I mean, go out and shoot some hoops. Go take a bike ride. Go jog. You guys can't put your phones down. No one can put their phones down anymore. Even at games. You ever watch, you're watching on TV and everyone's on their phone, they're waving to the, we see you. We see you sitting behind home plate with your $1,000 seats. We see you waving. Now put your phone down and go get your shine box. Unbelievable. Put your phones away, people. Oh, it's become an epidemic. People cannot put it's their oxygen. And no one can speak in person anymore. You go out to dinner, I was looking at a family of 4 the other day. They all got their phones out. They're not talking to each other. I go on the train. 2 people are sitting next to each other, texting each other. They're sitting next to each other. They're not talking to each other. They're texting each other. It's mindless. It's gotten out of control. I can't take it anymore when I go to these games. And people just looking at their phones. It's constant. They cannot put the phone away. They're constantly looking down. All the time. It's not healthy. Cell phones were made for emergencies. Important stuff. Not all this obnoxious nonsense. Oh my goodness. Put your phones away, people. Anyway, real quick on the college football. Penn State lost to Ohio State again in a game they had wrapped up. Penn State and their fans must be sick. 2 weeks in a row, 2 years in a row, Penn State let Ohio State off the hook, and it's going to cost them in the end. Penn State had a 26-14 lead with 8 minutes to go in their building in that environment and lost the game. And what was the coach at Penn State doing? Running that running play at the end of the game. What a terrible call. You have one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He can pass and he can run. And you hand the ball off on 4th and 5 or something? You were playing right into Ohio State's hands. You sent Ohio State an early Christmas gift. And Ohio State had defensive players out all over the field. You think they wanted Penn State passing in that situation or the Penn State quarterback running? You did them a favor handing that ball off. That was an atrocious call by Penn State. And again, 2 years in a row, they have Ohio State beat and let them off the hook. Terrible, terrible job by Penn State and the coaches. Running that play was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Ohio State, give them credit. They found a way to win. Great atmosphere at Penn State, by the way. The fans are tremendous. This week, like I was saying in the NFL, this week could be a strange week in college football. You always get one of those weeks where you get a lot of upsets. I think you could have 3 upsets this week. I think Vatech at home can beat Notre Dame. Vatech lost 2 weeks ago to Old Dominion in a shocker. Came back and beat Duke last week. Vatech at home is very tough. Vatech could easily upset Notre Dame. Look for an upset there. Florida at home could upset LSU. I could see that happening. Should be a defensive slugfest. And the Red River shootout where College Game Day is, I think Texas is going to give Oklahoma all sorts of problems. Oklahoma's a big favorite in this game. Everyone's picking Oklahoma. I think that game's closer than the experts think. So I think Vatech, Florida, and Texas could pull upsets this week. You might have one of those weeks in college football where you get a lot of upsets, and a lot of strange things should happen in the NFL this week. But anyway, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Thanks, as always, for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Enjoy the games. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday in the league where they play for pay. Talk to you Tuesday. Take care.